Good morning, everybody. Welcome. So nice to have you here in this fasting space session. We are talking about moving beyond our upper limit. Such an inspiring thing to think about for me. We're on a journey. I've been describing it a lot as climbing up a mountain. We've been looking through this book. The mountain is you. We recognize we have obstacles. It's a mountain. It's something that we're trying to overcome. And we look at that from as many different perspectives as we can, seeing, okay, there's a lot of things external out there that we're trying to deal with, also recognizing a lot of the path that we have to walk to get to a better place, internal work. So we're trying to do that in an inspiring fashion today. I was doing a lot of thinking about it yesterday, climbing a mountain. One thing I didn't know, when you think about like the most inspiring mountain climbings, you think, at least I do, I think about like climbing Mount Everest. And I was like, oh, I didn't even know, like, how do people do it? I started looking and, how long does it take? When I filmed the video on the channel, Joy on the Journey, when I was in Yellowstone, we climbed up Mount Washburn. We'd do it in a day. This is the type of mountain that I have climbed. Do a hike. It was like 7 miles. Get up to the top of this mountain and back in one day. I thought, I knew Everest has a base camp, but I didn't realize the average. Do you know the average duration that it takes for people to climb up Mount Everest? 42 days. Oh, man. Now, there is a journey, okay? And then I realized as I was studying it, that's the average between the standard route and the, express route. You can do an express route, very expensive, and you have to, train and adjust your body using these hypoxia chambers where you're, depriving yourself of oxygen so your body can adjust, and then they'll let you do it because you have to acclimate on the way up. So part of what is happening in these 42 days, the standard route is 56 days, and then they average it. So the average between those two. But so the most people, if you're not some pro, you're actually going to take over 50 days to do it. All right, so we are on a journey. We are talking about a mountain, about overcoming a health obstacle, becoming healthier, leaner, stronger, wiser, hopefully, building up every good thing of health. We say we have a limit. If we say we are stuck, I'm going to be talking a bit about a weight loss plateau. Something very, very common. We're going to totally, I hope, change the thinking on it. We have a mountain. We're trying to climb it up. Have you experienced this? Have you experienced a weight loss plateau? Maybe you are there now. Are you in a space where we think of it this way, right? Scale is coming down and then scale stops. And then we say we feel stuck, like we are in this sort of place. Have you experienced that? One of the very common, trying to lose weight on any type of path, whether that's exercise, some sort of dieting, and whether it's fasting. Fasting, to me, the process, I would say, that helps people flow through a weight loss plateau the best, but doesn't mean it isn't going to happen. I say weight loss rarely linear. What weight loss is really is like waves like this. We're trying to ride some waves, and sometimes those waves kind of go and do one of these for a little bit. I'll tell you the goal, what we're really trying to do in working through this is to help that process resolve to the downside. So that it's kind of, I think of it like a water slide. We're trying to slide down this thing over time. We get to these plateau sort of things. The reason a plateau, tell me if you've experienced something like this, is frustrating, frightening even, is people have been through cycles that look like this. And we are really trying to break out of that cycle. So we can see right away, if we get something that looks like this, okay, well, it's not this, all right? So a plateau, way better than the alternative, just to start. Say, hey, we have evened this out. We've broken out of a cycle. And now today we are going to flip things. I love trying to find an inversion, right? So we want to invert our thinking as much as possible. Look at things from the opposite perspective. Now we're going to start down here. Instead of like the graph going this way, it's like we'll start down here somewhere, right? We are building up our success. This is like climbing the mountain. This is the analogy. Look what happened. We climbed the mountain. We made the initial ascent. Now we have some altitude. You see, we flipped the graph here from this to this. It's the incredible graphics that you get on Fasting Space. Okay. Plateau is happening. But do you see what has happened now? We've climbed up the initial part to Everest, and then we got to base camp. This is what you do when you're climbing Everest. You make the initial camp, and there's multiple base camps, right? You get up to a level, because you're going so high, 35,000 feet or whatever it is, like way up by the airplanes. And so, like, we get to the base camp and you hang out a while. When you are climbing Mount Everest and you get up to a space and you are hanging out there for a while, anything is not wrong. You say, we haven't kept climbing. Do you see? Like, is something wrong? No, this is a necessary part of the journey. This is the acclimation phase where we are, like, this is where the body can handle. Body's got to adjust. Think of this in our context. Moving down a weight loss path. Do you see that we're heading and approaching our limit? We have a limit. For whatever reason, that limit might be physical in the body, might be adjustments that have to happen hormonally in the body as the body is building out the energy pathways. Limits can be psychological, especially. I'm going to show you some reading today where we're going to dive into that we have psychological limits. Do you feel them, right? We get to a certain point, we're pushing on that comfort zone, we've kind of stretched out of it, and the body is kind of like, whoa, you know? We got to get to the base camp, okay? Hang out a little bit and adjust and acclimate. And what we can see is that sort of process then, we stabilize it, solidify it, consolidate it. Help the processes that got us to this point to start to feel normal, to feel really comfortable with it. And then, okay, we spend some time at the base camp. Look what that has done. That's the plateau. We've hung out in that space. We're building the energy and the momentum for the next ascent, right? Heading up the next climb, getting to the next level. We're unlocking the next level of our success. Do you see how this is a total inversion of the other graph? And it's a total emotional inversion. We think we're going this way and we get here and we feel stuck, okay? Flip it. We are climbing up and we've reached a new plateau. Like literally seeing out farther, like at a plateau. Think of a plateau on an actual mountain. It's like you climbed up and now you're looking out from a higher level than you've ever been. And this takes something that can be so frustrating. Invert it and to realize this is a marker of success, right? Getting the base camp on your assault up Everest, right? That's a milestone. That's a marker. That is your first success, right? Made it this far. I think this is what people experience that starts to drive stuff like this. You make an initial attempt at something, you have some progress, but then it's stopping. People say, oh, it doesn't work anymore. Quit. Okay? That would be like we're trying to hike up to Everest. We get to base camp 1, and we're like, well, I'm not at the top. I guess I'll just walk back down. Whoa, like look at the process, okay? Look at the process. We're hiking up. Base camp is part of the journey. And like you can have some fun at base camp. Think how beautiful it is. You're looking up at the mountains. You're looking at all these things. This is the type of attitude. I say bring this into our experience of health, you know? We're not on a linear path. We're not on a linear process. We just made a change, you know? We experienced some benefit and we saw it. And now we are floating through a space. So many good ways to think about it. We've been using the analogy lately, like that's the cocoon, right? That's the process. That's where the real transformation happens, is actually in that space. Can't see it right away. Used the analogy a couple weeks ago. It's like an ice cube in a frozen room, and we're slowly turning up the temperature. These are the things. So we have a limit, and I just love this word, beyond, right? Sitting in a space like that is like a space where you can just think, okay, we see where we've been, and we can start to envision where we're going. See, to me, a plateau space like that, nothing wrong with it. No judgment needed in it. Take any frustration you're experiencing. That is like an emotional clue. I'll tell you, a frustration in that sort of space. Start unpacking it. Right? It's coming from a good place, I'll tell you, because we want growth. We want progress, right? The fact that you are frustrated with it, that anyone is frustrated with it, is coming from a place that is showing this is something I really want. This is something I care about. This has meaning to me. Okay, recognize the good in that. And see that those thoughts, those types of ideas are the mind. It is the mind trying to unlock the next step, right? So why is this not working? Is the right question, okay? Why are things the way they are? There are answers. There are reasons to it. And so we flow out of it. And as we sit in that space, we experience it, right? We go through the process and we think beyond. We think beyond. And we think beyond in every positive, encouraging way, because we have powerful tools for this hike, right? You think about equipping to climb the actual mountain. You're going to climb Everest. You got tons of gear. You know, I was looking, okay, how would you actually do it? And how much does it cost? The cost absolutely blew my mind. It's like minimal cost is like $50,000 that I could find. Like, good grief, I had no idea. I'm used to just like, oh, you climb a mountain, you can just do it for free. You go to the national park, you hike up the thing. What an investment to actually climb up Mount Everest. It cost a fortune to do it. Part of what you get with that, you get guides to lead you in these very dangerous places, and you get all the equipment that you need for your success. We did that yesterday, empowering ourselves. You want to climb up Mount Everest, you're going to have to empower yourself, right? You're going to have a huge financial investment, get tons of gear, everything that you need to do it, and then you can, do it if you train for it and have every resource. So here we are in this space. We are reaching our upper limit. We say we have gone through a process and gotten to a space is better than we were before, and that's like Basecamp. You say, how do we equip ourselves with every good thing, give ourselves every tool for the next leg of the journey, right? That's what we're doing at Basecamp. So if you feel stuck, if you are at some sort of plateau space, I want you to reframe that. I want to help inspire and encourage you to see that this is actually a beautiful space to be. You've made incredible progress. You're consolidating it, learning, and preparing for the next amount of success. Some of these ideas I'm taking from this book, The Mountain is You. Loving this book. If you want a book to help get you on a path of change for the better, change that is moving you in a direction, say there's something in my life that I don't like how it is going. I want to powerfully take the steps to change it. This can help you do it. We're trying to bring these ideas into our experience here. Listen to what they say here about hitting an upper limit. Your upper limit is essentially the amount of good that you're comfortable of having in your life. Do you think about that ever? Like, we usually think, like, how much bad can we tolerate before we are breaking, right? It's like, this is another inversion, right? How much good can we handle, right? It's another thing for, like, how much change can we take at once, Like, we can break in the other direction where it's like, even if things are going well, it starts to make us feel uncomfortable. You have a tolerance and a threshold for having positive feelings or experiencing positive events. Have you recognized that? Like the first time that I was reading that, I was like, I don't know, I'll take all the positive feelings I can get. But then when you start to dive into it, I've kind of realized it's true. They say when you begin to surpass your upper limit, you can start to unconsciously sabotage what is happening in order to bring yourself back to what is comfortable and familiar. Have you ever done that? Can you see times in your life where maybe you have actually done that? Now, is this what is happening in a plateau? I will tell you, I think it is at least really part of it. Okay, it is part of it. We are having an inner psychological dialogue that is integrated within this physical body that is having a physical, mental, emotional experience as we're going through a process of change. Walking up the mountain is a change. When you physically see it, or hiking up a huge mountain, got to take some time to just take a break, let the body adjust, sink into a space. That's what I tell you in this plateau. This doesn't mean anything is wrong. What I say, I like that. Sink into it. I've never hiked a mountain like I'm describing, like Everest, never done anything like that. But I can imagine, the experience of it actually for such a long time. Such a good metaphor for what we're doing, right? Because this session, right, our experience here together, fasting space, this isn't some hyped up, lose 20 pounds by next week, sort of thing. This is like a long-term process. Right? So I think you get to that base camp, just sink in a little bit. You know what I mean? Say, this is an okay place to be. I am on the path. I am on the journey. We're going to take the time that we need here, in the mountain climb, actually, so we can do it safely, so everything feels good. We're not pushing anything. See, this is what I want everybody to be doing. This is what fasting is to me. Openness. Sink into it. Open. Let it expand just in the way that the body is tolerating, that is bringing joy, peace, contentment to life, never pushing it. Floating toward it in a gentle way. Fasting, very powerful. Look, you can't think of all the diets in the world, all the different dietary practices. You cannot get a more aggressive dietary practice than fasting. You can't eat less than nothing, right? It's the most aggressive. This is why I like it. The most powerful. You want a powerful tool of weight loss? The fasting space. It's like the most power you're going to get. Okay, therefore, say, we approach it so gently. We take something powerful. We bring it in thoughtfully. We use just the amount of it that we need for this point. Sitting here in this space, did fasting help you to get there? Did every other good thing help you to get there? All right, then we're sitting in that space. We can reflect. I saw an image once. I wish I could bring it up. I'd have to find it. But we can imagine it in our mind, okay? It shows a graph on one side, learning from experience. And it has a graph where we our learning is going up a little bit, right? Because we learn from experience. But on the other side, it's got this much more exciting graph that says learning from our reflection on our experiences. And the graph is going way up, okay? Because we don't... Yes, experience is good, but reflecting on it. Do you see that the plateau space on this is the reflection space to really dive in and understand what has gotten us to where we are and where are we going? What is beyond this limit? They say here, hitting your upper limit is a really great sign. Look how positive that is. That's what I want to send to you, these encouragements. If you're feeling stuck, don't feel stuck, okay? You're hitting an upper limit. Great sign. It means that you are approaching and surpassing new levels of your life. That is first and foremost something to congratulate yourself for. Isn't it? It is. It is. Think about the alternatives. Think how many people are not dialed in. They're not on a path. They're not doing the work, all right? You are here. You're on the path. You're climbing the mountain. You made it to base camp. We say congratulations. It's part of the process. The way through it is the process of conquering it, accomplishing it. The way you resolve, they say here, an upper limit problem is by slowly acclimating yourself to your new normal, right? We've gone through a process of changing, right? And now we are consolidating that. Now it is becoming normal. Now, do you see, as things start to feel normal, we've shifted. The shift has happened from what was normal to like this space. Things are different now. But then as we float through that space, they come to feel normal. This is what we want. I did a session in the fall, the normal way to lose weight. We're doing some contrasting of standard dietary processes versus fasting, but then we were just using this psychology of understanding that in order really to lose weight in the long term, the process has to feel normal. If we are stuck in a space where we're always feeling like this is like abnormal, this is different, this is a thing, right? That in of itself, like change is its own type of stress, right? We are trying to use methods, wellness practices, from healthy eating through fasting, from movement to meditation, all these things. Every good process of health, we're trying to support ourselves in this whole process of flourishing. Each of these things can be a wellness practice, means a stress reducing or stress coping practice, okay? So that we can flow through a space as gently and peacefully as possible. That's how we make things sustainable, okay? So we recognize all of that, but at the same time, right? Change is difficult. Change can be stressful. Going through any type of health process, like we recognize that in and of itself, even if it's a wellness practice, certain type of stress. That's why it's like, that's why we're climbing up the mountain. That's why we need to get to base camp, right? We got to bring down any type of stress with that. Hello, it's so good to have you here. Welcome. How are you these days? 26 hours into 72, feeling good. Hey, that is strong. That is strong. Very excited to hear that. I hope it's a rejuvenating and thoughtful experience for you. Thank you for sharing. Flowing into that space, say, do you see, if we are like, you understand the metaphor, like pedal to the metal, right? It's just like we are 100% all the time. It's like the engine is just revving full power. Like a lot of our society is this way, right? It is saying like, we have to be going 100% all the time. And if you're not doing it, like then all the judgment just immediately comes. You're basically lazy and no good. And society judge us. We judge ourselves, you know. This is a society that is just locked on doing, okay? There's a spectrum between doing and being. Both have incredible value. Our society not very dialed in on being, right? Being is a state of contentment, to realize I'm enough. Everything that happens is enough here. I have what I need. I don't need more. Everything is content here, okay? That is a beautiful state of mind to be in, right? We hit ourselves pedal to the metal. We think if everything isn't a straight line, if every day is not hitting milestone, we can just be like, well, this isn't good enough, okay? Plateau space, when we start to see it giving us an opportunity, like we just did a lot of doing, right? If you went through a process, you had some actual success, and then you say, now I'm floating through a space. Look, this is a space that far from being stuck, that we can use to great advantage to like say, okay, we've been doing a lot of doing. What does it mean to be in this space right now? Right? See, does it just balance it out? Help everything to start to feel normal when you just be in a space, when you experience it, when you accept it, when you say, hey, this is good enough, for the time being. You find gratitude for it. Do you see that that's the mindset that would help that sort of space to feel normal? Right? And as a space feels normal, that's what I describe as sinking into it. That's like solidifying it. This is how we're breaking out of cycles like this, right? So if we lost some weight and we flowed into this space, like to invert it, we climbed up to this space, we're at this base camp. As we stay there, okay, we're not walking back down. Building up the energy for the next leg up the hike. Listen to how they describe it here. Instead of shocking yourself into a big change, allow yourself to slowly adjust and adapt. By taking it slow, you're allowing yourself to gradually reinstate a new comfort zone around what you want your life to be. Isn't that just a beautiful sentence? Allow yourself to gradually reinstate a new comfort zone around what you want your life to be. Do you see, this is how we're flowing through this space. We're climbing up the mountain. If it's going to take us 56 days to climb up Everest, right? We're not going to be hiking every single day without stopping, right? It's dangerous to do that. Take some time, adjust, acclimate, then you start to feel normal with it, then you keep going. This is what we want in our life. They say here, over time, you gradually shift your baseline to the new standard. I love that. I love that. This is what I want to help us all do, to slowly, thoughtfully, over time, shift our life to the new standard, shift our comfort zone. So much of what we experience as feeling comfortable is just what we're used to, whether it's healthy or not. Do you experience that? It's like we can get used to things to say it's not really taking us in a healthy direction, but it's not even that it feels good so much as it just feels normal, and therefore it feels comfortable. And so when we deviate from that, we describe that, even if it's something that can make us feel better. Eating a healthy, nutritious food, do you agree? It's like it helps you to feel better, right? But if you're not in a habit of doing it, even when you do it and you feel temporarily better, then there's the part of it where like, that's not what I normally do. And it's like in this awkward transition sort of space. So like they say here, this book, can you see, is mirroring what we're seeing in the other book we're stepping through, Atomic Habits, right? That small changes are what build the process of change, that are giving us the evidence. See, when we make small steps, then we can see it, right? Small step wasn't so hard to do. Then we can see it is building evidence. You say, oh, I see these changes, especially if you're journaling them out, you're writing, you say, today I did this was a little bit new for me, right? Maybe that looks like just a little bit more fasting space, Doesn't have to be all the way out to 72 hours, which is like legit powerful fasting space. Oh man. Can be just a little bit more. It's like whatever you have. Maybe you say, I don't do any fasting. I'm just here. I'm coming through. What is this all about? Fasting space. Everybody got a little bit overnight. You're sleeping, you're not eating while we're sleeping. Body does just fine in that space. So we want to flow through that. We can extend that a little bit, And then that's showing, like body is doing good. Like we can extend that out gently over time. I always tell people you could take it 5 minutes at a time, So yeah, I normally eat breakfast at 6, like let's make it 6:05. You just took an atomic step, a little bit forward. And look, if you do that over a few days, a few weeks, all of a sudden, see how I'm saying it's opening up that space. So I say, what are the limits that you are experiencing right now in health? When you see the title Beyond Our Upper Limit, like, do you have an upper limit that is hitting you? And what does that look like? What is your experience with it? And what do you think? Like, what do you envision is beyond that upper limit? Is that something you're looking for? Like, if we're climbing the mountain, you say, I want to get to the peak of the mountain. I want to see, like, way out. Okay, what is the health experience we say that is our mountain, that we say is ourselves, that we are actually trying to climb? That would be like a journaling prompt that I would say for the day. Write that out. What is the big purpose? What's the pinnacle of the mountain that we're trying to climb? And as we're sitting here, maybe in a base camp, and we're trying to, like, envision. That's the type of thing that can really bring motivation. That's what I would say. Sometimes, I run into people that say, everybody wants to be healthier, right? They would say, I'm moving in a health direction, but then in the midst of it, we can struggle with motivation. Do you ever experience that? You say, yes, I want to, like, make progress with something. Could be with health, could be with any area of life. Like, we're trying to accomplish anything. Sometimes we say, I want something, but then is the motivation there? This type of process, sinking into this middle space, and then envisioning beyond. That's like keeping our eyes on the horizon, right? Is like two things we're trying to do at the same time. Be grounded in the present moment. Not be living in the future. That can bring into anxiety. That can bring us to judgment of saying, oh, so far to go. Okay. We don't want any negative thinking. We were into that yesterday so much. Banish any form of negative thinking from our life. That's like the metacognition. We need a little program running that is like on alert, that is saying if negative self-talk is coming, we want to stamp that out quick. Because do you ever experience that? Because that can start a cycle. Those sort of things can spiral, negative self-talk. We were getting into that, like the deepest questions that we can ask about ourselves, right? Like, who am I? And what do I really want? The negative talk tends to hit those types of things, right? And only about the things that really matter. Like, we're trying to move towards something beautiful and healthy, right? There's better health in the body. It's like, what a great goal to have in life. See, that's something that I want. It's like everybody wants that, right? Everyone who wants health. We don't experience resistance and negative talk usually to things that are going sideways. We start walking back down the mountain, not much resistance to that. It's like there's no voice in our head, usually. Maybe we can build one. Maybe we have a warning sign. We start going away. Maybe we try to build one. Say, hey, look out, you were on a good track. Like, we need that kind of voice. But see, that's positive self-talk. We counteract those things with positive self-talk. That's what we want to be programming in. But the negative talk shows up when we're trying to do something good, right? It'll say something like, you're not the type of person that does that. Like, only some special type of person. Someone stronger than you can do that, This isn't what you normally do. This isn't the thing. Do you see? These are the types of things. That's part of, I think, what the limit is. That's at least the psychological part. I mean, I think there's real physical limits in the body. That is, our hormones, our metabolism, everything adjusting. So, like, that's the physical reality in the body. That, like, and then we got to stretch the limit. Just like we have limits to our strength. You could see it with weightlifting, right? You go in the gym, you say, I'm going to start doing some curls, want big biceps. You say, well, you get the whole rack of weights. Like, there's a limit to it, right? Yeah, you try to grab the 40-pounder, you're like, oh, I just can't do it, right? You want to move beyond that limit? You probably could, but you have to train. You have to work at it, right? So maybe you start with the 20s, and you start doing the 20s for a while, and you're going to build up the strength to do it. So fasting is a strength in the body, and we don't think of it as a typical strength, but it clearly is a strength. How trained, how conditioned, how able is the body to access the energy that is within it instead of always relying on the external, right? To rely on the internal strength of the body. You have to train it to do it, and you can get better at it. So there's a physical side to it, but then the emotional side, like that limit, is this conversation that we're having with ourselves, right? Is overcoming the negative talk, the negative ideas that we have about ourselves, like the negative self-image that has been put on us, right? Do we have it? Like, we're trying to get rid of it as much as possible. Build up our most positive, most joyful self-image, recognizing that we are strong and powerful people, and that we are more than anything, we are just thoughtful, we are doing our best. Very difficult to do something healthy in a society that is unhealthy. So you basically have to be countercultural to do that. So we're trying to build our own microculture, we're trying to build systems, processes, connections of health that support our flourishing. Just give yourself a big congratulations on that. You're doing something like that. You got to be very, very thoughtful to do that. That sort of mindset, kind, thoughtful, is a sustainable process. See, who wants to be on a path that isn't fun, that doesn't feel good, that isn't joyful and encouraging? So when you find yourself in a space like that, like no matter where you are, you say, that's good. Like even if a plateau space, like say it never resolved, right? Can you find peace and contentment in that space? Okay. Like, is it a way of being that is working for you? That's settling into it. It feels normal. That's often the space that is the biggest unlock, where you say, hey, this is okay. It's like that's building up the energy, right? For the next leg up. Let me know thoughts, reflections that you have on that. Happy to answer any questions, thoughts. Curious to hear your reflections on that. Does that resonate as a concept, moving beyond the upper limit? Does it help to flip this over from what we're kind of typically seeing as a place where we've kind of slid into and gotten stuck? Do you find it helpful to flip that over and realize this is like Basecamp, that we have climbed up and now we're looking out over a beautiful space? Let me know your reflection on that. Yeah, if you're coming through on the replay, so nice to have you here too. Throw reflections and thoughts on that in the comments. We have an ongoing discussion about it. I say the centering thought for the day is, no matter where we are, if we're just starting out, if we're just making our initial ascent, like having the mindset to recognize, like, hey, I'm trying to get to base camp, okay? Not only is it a spot we're stuck on, it's like a goal. Like, I want to get to a place that is new, right? And if we are floating in a space where we feel like, hey, I have been on a journey, I have been on a travel, like recognize, like, hey, this is a place just to be. It is a good place to be. And we are leaning into that space, learning everything that we can from that experience, building up every good resource, equipping ourselves for the next leg up in our success. Let's do that today. I say let's do it today. Let's be present in this day, center ourselves here, find peace, contentment, gratitude for this beautiful moment that we have. This day, this is what is here right now. Let's make it the very best day that we can. Take every powerful action. That powerful action might just be nothing, right? A fasting space is nothing. Might be carving out a few minutes of our day just for some open mental space to accompany the fasting space. Give our mind a space to just breathe, to protect the space from all the stress, the negatives that are coming at us. Say we're going to protect that space, help us to process. Maybe in that space we can write out a few lines about like where we're at in our journey and where we're hoping to go. Sink into that, and then maybe today you say, I'm ready to make a climb. I've been sitting in this space. It's actually feeling good, but it's like I'm ready. Like I've charged up in this space. And we say, now it is the time for the next leg up on the journey. We're heading to that higher base camp. What are the paths to do that? Leaning into a fasting space, leaning into the healthiest food choices that we can, means cutting out all the processed food that we possibly can, getting the highest quality, most nutritious food that comes from the earth in a natural way. Those are the things we want to put into our body that nourish the body. Moving our bodies in the most enjoyable, powerful ways, whether that's some resistance training, lifting some actual weights, taking a walk, any sort of activity, moving the body. What type of movement brings you the most energy? You say, I just love this, Never forcing ourselves into an exercise. Exercise to me should be a joyful expression. Leaning into the mental health practice, maybe just the mental health practice today, just carving out some space for some reflection that we were saying. The most powerful thing that we can do, reflect on our experience. Really great to share this space with you today. I hope you have a beautiful day. I will look forward to being back with you tomorrow. We will continue to move beyond our upper limit. I'll see you there. Have a great day, everybody.